And it's a difference between a person checking out. A man, let me talk to men. There's a difference between a man checking all the way out and saying, I know something was missing. Right? So in that I know something missing, this is a sign of it's a sign of immaturity and lack of self-control.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And not knowing how to put it all, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so what usually happen though with a man who feel like it's something missing, right? He gonna look for something else that's missing.
Right.
He gonna look for something else that's missing.
Right.
Something else happening and something else missing.
Right.
Now he's checking out. You see what I'm saying? The steps then went from boom, 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 boom. You see what I'm saying? And not just, man, something missing, but then you gonna make the move. That's just immaturity.
We're back.
We're back.
Yes, we are back. Grace and Truth
Talks.
We are back. And Pastor James, today we are not by ourselves.
Absolutely.
And I am very grateful for this beautiful couple that we have with us.
Yeah.
Guys, today we are diving into a topic that I think is extremely beneficial. I know that it is going to be soothing and healing for the soul for so many married people. Restorative. We always hear of stories about when things go wrong in marriage and how people leave and then they rebuild their lives individually or they rebuild their lives with somebody else. But what happens when you go through a very rough time in marriage and you all decide that we are going to stick it through? We're going to work through this. We are going to heal. We are going to love each other more and more. And then what the enemy tried to separate, God says, I'm going to go ahead and keep this thing back together.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We have an amazing couple that have gone through a really rough time. Latest, what year we want to work with?
I would probably say the latest was 2018.
2018. And so we're going to be talking about infidelity, why we stayed, but how we healed.
Tell us who y'all are.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, introduce yourself to the Grace and Truth audience.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
I'm so
Thank y'all
grateful
for coming.
to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, for
Awesome.
sure.
What a blessing. I am Kristin.
Hey, Chris.
Hello. And I am a Houstonian. I was born in New Orleans, but I've been here forever.
No,
and
yeah.
I am about to be 43 years old. I am a wife, a mother, an entrepreneur, and madly in love with my boo. And this is David.
I love that. I just want to say real quick, guys, I have been knowing Kristin for probably about 15 years. She is a dear friend of mine, a beautiful person, has an amazing husband, and they're also a part of Transforming Faith. They're a part of our ministry, so I love that.
Yeah.
David,
Talk to
talk
us,
to us,
Cowboy.
Super Dave. Cowboy Dave is what we call you.
Yeah, you can. Cowboy Dave, Super Dave, it's all good. Super Dave is the actual name. I'm 39. Been together 15 years.
17.
Years? 17 total?
Give me all my credit.
I know that's right.
17 years.
Let me tell you. And it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey.
That's good.
The whole time.
So you all have been together 17.
Yes.
You've been married how many?
Yeah, this year, actually this month, October 23rd, will be our 15th year married.
Wow.
Yeah.
15 years
Yeah.
of marriage.
Yes.
That is amazing. So you all are a very happy couple. So we wanted to talk to a couple that literally you all are not faking the funk.
Yeah.
We've done life with you all outside of Grace and Truth, outside of church, and you
what
all
you
are
see
happy.
is what you get.
Absolutely. And
Yes.
so with that being said, I want to talk to our audience. This is where I want you all to hear this and let it be a spirit of grace and a spirit of, wow, if they can get through this, this is God's divine timing. It is the testimony. We know that testimony means that God wants to do it again. So I pray that as you all are listening to their journey, that you're not listening from a place of judgmental ears or I would have done this or, well, I don't know. No, we're going to listen and we are going to be able to see what God has put together. Let no man put asunder. And so we do know that we are here to talk about infidelity in a relationship. And so Dave, Super Dave, as you being the head of your household, let's dive right in. Tell us a little bit about your story, how you guys met. We want to start there, and then when things got rocky.
Okay. So I met Chris. I tell people the story all the time, actually. We met in a drive-thru.
Yes, very true.
Y'all met in a
was hungry.
drive-thru?
It was a
Oh,
drive-thru.
drive-thru, okay.
Drive-thru at a fast food restaurant.
Fast food.
Okay, gotcha.
And I tell people it was ordained because I technically was a supervisor and I had fired the person that normally works the drive-thru.
Wow.
Had let him go. we had a rule: if you fire anybody, you work their shift. So I wasn't even supposed to be there. Ended up working the drive-through. This young lady comes through and gives me her card. I'm thinking this for like, the free lunch. You give your card for the free
card
lunch.
In for a free business lunch.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get it. She cute, but I'm gonna get her a free lunch. We're gonna work this thing out. And I ended up calling a few days later. I'm like, hey, ma'am, I know you gave me your number for business purposes, but I was trying to get to you on a more personal level.
So unprofessional.
Gotcha. So you slid the business card trying to get you some free lunch.
I said, if you know anybody who needs a makeup artist, which is so random, but if you know anybody who needs a makeup artist, here's my card.
Come on now. I love that.
I was telling somebody he was cute too, so I said, okay, this could be a 2-part.
And so what year was that?
That was 2008.
2008 when you guys met. Yeah. Okay. And so at that point, you are fairly young. How old are you, Chris?
Oh, wow. I think I was 20. Was I 26? I think I was 26. I think I was 26.
26. And I know.
How old were you, Dave?
I was 22.
22. Yeah, I know there's a little bit of an age difference between you guys. So you were in your 20s, and we all know how in the 20s you're still developing. There is a scientific evidence that your brain is not fully developed until the age of 26. So you all are 22, 26.
And I didn't even need science to tell me that. Because I'm telling you, when I met this, I don't think I really understood or comprehended what all she entailed at the time. Mm-hmm. And so I can fully be aware that, before I really turned 25, 26, I was still trying to discover how to be a man, how to be a person. At the time, I was already a father as well. So
yeah, that's important. Yeah,
it's important to note that. Yeah.
So
you met her at the drive-through. Come on, tell us the story.
Immediate. So I tell people this. It was the best time I ever had with my clothes on. Immediate. That first date. Can you recall a better first date?
No, I actually cannot recall a better first date.
I got you. Y'all had a great first date.
We had a great first. Did not want it to end. Like
Very
we went to a park. Mm-hmm. First we went to movies.
Yes.
Met up.
No, we didn't. See, he not. Okay. That happens when you're together so long.
Yeah, everything starts blending.
We went to a restaurant.
We went to the movies and saw Cloverfield, ma'am.
That was the third date, but.
So either way, y'all dated. Y'all had a good time. Yeah. You all dated for how long before you got married?
Actually, 2 years. We met in 2008.
Okay.
We got married in 2010.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And so tell us a little bit as we're moving into the relationship. You all are now married.
Yes.
How was your first year of marriage?
The first year, blissful. Mm-hmm. I think the first year was blissful.
Okay.
I think we had a great time. We communicated properly. But I think the warning signs happened probably year one because we had a lot of moving parts in and out of our home. Mm-hmm. Our home, we never got a chance to have a solid foundation. I think immediately my mom.
It was blissful, but lifes. And I think at that time your mother moved in.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of faced with challenges a little bit earlier on than we probably would have.
Wasn't anticipating his mom to be moving in.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, that happened within the first year.
And then my mom moved out. And my sister moved in.
Sister moved in.
Understood.
Yeah, you got to help people along.
Right.
And but overall, from a standpoint of us, I think our connection was still great. We were still floating on cloud 9. Things were great. We had our child together. In 2012. Actually, so everything happened kind of in increments of 2 years.
Yeah.
Men 2008, married 2010.
First child in 2012.
First child, together in 2012.
Gotcha.
So let's talk about when things started to get rocky.
Yeah.
Let's hear from you on that part.
So, essentially, because I was so young, I didn't really have the tools necessary to explain and communicate. It's been an issue of mine, I think, since I was young. Mm-hmm. I tell people my dad often taught me how to be angry and how to be happy.
Wow.
Yeah, nothing in between.
Nothing really much in between. So I knew, for example, if there was, other emotions like frustration, jealousy.
Gotcha.
Sadness even.
Right.
Yeah. Couldn't communicate it.
I couldn't. All I could tell you was I know when I'm happy.
And I know when I'm angry.
And I know when I'm mad.
Those are both two extremes.
Right,
so there's this gray area that's there that nobody ever really taught you how to work through your emotions, not just independently, but now you got a whole wife and family.
Yes.
Right.
So you got a wife and 2 kids, and you're now learning how to walk through this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So as I'm kind of getting through those steps and those processes, there were things I was feeling,
Yeah.
But I didn't quite know how to communicate it to her.
Absolutely.
Looking back now, I understand that it probably was the red flags that I needed to pull back and say, hey, I need to get some help. I need to talk to somebody. I need to seek out something. But at the time, it was just, just run through it.
Got you.
I think I had a bar in Galveston for 8 years. We was out there.
Oh, wow.
And I used to tell my wife, I say, we would be at the house and she would be fussing. I mean, not anything bad, but just make sure you put the toilet seat down.
Yeah, clean up.
Clean up. Straighten up,
Straighten up.
And I used to always tell them, like, hey, man, you telling me this now, but I'm going to my place. And everybody was welcoming me.
So let's back up a little bit. You all had, so people don't know, we are in Houston, Texas.
Absolutely.
Galveston is about 45 minutes, an hour away.
Yeah,
Yes.
You all were still living in Houston, and he was commuting every day
to the
for a
restaurant.
restaurant/bar that you all
Yes.
own there.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, how did that start having an effect on the marriage? Because at home, she's being the wife,
Right.
because she's familiar with you, also doing life.
Yeah.
But then when you're showing up, you're the boss, you're the owner of this establishment.
Yeah.
When does it start having an effect on the marriage?
I think literally that second year in business.
Absolutely. I think for me, I also was having movement and getting promoted at work. Was a new mom, so just kind of going through.
And I got one more question. Was anybody living with y'all at that point by the time Cam
At that
made it?
point, I believe, yes, when
Yeah.
our son was, I believe at that point, your sister was
My
living there.
My
Gotcha.
sister was there.
Yeah,
with
so I was.
So y'all
yeah.
unconsciously got a lot of weight on y'all.
It is
Right,
a lot of
right.
weight going
Gotcha.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Promoted at work. Our son was young. A lot
Gotcha.
going on, and I think David would probably say, like he mentioned, he got the term Super Dave because he was like a superhero at work. So when he would go to work, everybody was like, he's here because he can solve all, he can do all.
Well,
They see him
I
like
could-
Superman at
Yeah,
work.
Superman at work.
Yeah.
but
And
when
he
he
came
get
home,
home,
and I'm like,
Clark
lovely to
Kent.
see you, but I
you know what's
exactly,
funny?
but I have all these things
Yeah,
I
take
need
your
for you
cape
to
off
do.
and let's fold these towels. Yeah.
Right. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what
yeah,
happened.
love you, but I need you. All day
Yeah.
has gone by. You
Right.
work overnight.
I need help.
Yeah.
The restaurant didn't close till 2 a.m. You get
Right.
home at 5 a.m,
Yeah.
but you're doing all the things, and I got things for you to do.
Right.
And our son was under 1 year old.
Yeah.
My God.
And you're
So-
working full time as
Working
well.
full-time, getting
So
promoted.
you're Super Dave at the restaurant and
Yeah.
at work. Then you are husband Dave and daddy Dave to your son
Two
at
separate
home.
worlds.
Right.
Two separate worlds.
Absolutely.
Very separate worlds.
Right.
And I think now I've started to realize that even the Super Day mantra itself, I was so accustomed to chaos. Like I grew up, my parents divorced when I was young, but my dad has been married 6 times. So
Pause.
yeah,
Wow. So your dad's been married 6 times.
6 times.
What does that do
Wow.
to your psyche? Like, what is that?
It was as a child, as a young, when my mind was developing, it was a revolving door of women,
Okay.
essentially, right? Because when you're married that many times, you got to date quite a bit too.
Right.
And so I just remember growing up always seeing a different person,
Wow.
a different somebody in and out. And so I knew that I did not want that for my life. Like I knew I
Wow.
wanted something more solid.
Do you
How
know-
did you go from seeing a revolving door of that many women and that many relationships to saying, man, this ain't right, I don't want this?
Yeah.
Because for me, I saw a whole lot of crazy stuff, and I never did say I didn't want it. I just
Yeah.
said within myself, this is just how life goes.
Exactly.
So
that's a good point.
what was your mind at that young age to say, I know I don't want this?
Yes.
Well, it's funny. Early on, I thought it was something. I thought it was kind of a normal thing, right? Like,
Okay.
because remember, my dad raised me, so a lot of my mindset came from some of those
Absolutely.
same principles. And so I did kind of think to myself, maybe this is the way it's supposed to be. Maybe I'm entitled to have multiple people in my life and multiple parts of my life. So, early on, I didn't. I often thought to myself, maybe I should, intertwine into different people. And again, me being in the bar business, in the bar industry in particular, a lot of late nights.
Yeah.
And then I had an hour commute. And so some of the things would start the cracks would start to show on some of these drives home. Like maybe it's a long drive home, and I got, a person wanting to say, hey, well, I can just keep you up while you're on your drive
Right.
home. And it's just, it's
like
it's
a
just,
lady, another woman that's
Another-
been
Devil
at the
just
bar.
creeping in.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
but if you think about it, he's the owner of this business.
Yes.
Wow, I'm not just talking to anybody. I'm talking to Super Dave on his way home. And so,
Absolutely.
I was thinking though as you were talking and how monumental this is because I didn't know. I think maybe in past time I didn't think about your dad being married 6 times. When we started talking about how you all have stayed together and you're happy now,
Yes.
you broke a generational curse.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I
Without
think
a
that is
shadow of a
so monumental about how you guys went through it and how you stayed together. So let's
Yeah.
get back on track. So late nights at the bar,
Yeah, a lot of late nights.
inappropriate conversations.
And literally it would go from the steps would just kind of increase, right? And I started to see myself saying, man, I want to spend more time at my bar. It was more enjoyable.
Where I'm
Wow.
I felt like
praised.
I was
yeah.
it was the praise, right?
Yeah.
Kind of that feeling of like confidence would overwhelm me.
Affirmation.
Yeah.
Man.
It becomes an
Validation,
addiction, truly, I
confirmation.
think.
Man,
Yeah.
Getting it from the outside.
Yeah.
It literally becomes an addiction. And I
The
felt to
feeling,
myself,
yeah.
man. And then I remember telling myself there were several times where I would say, why can't my wife make me feel this way?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So then I'm starting to depend and lean into her
Yes.
when I am at home. Hey, praise me.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't
Affirm
come,
me.
if it doesn't
Yeah,
come
affirm me,
just
yes.
if it doesn't come just the way I want it, I'm gone.
Right,
I'm
because you
down
got
the road.
somebody else that can
Yeah.
do
I'm
it.
going down the road.
Yeah.
Kristen, were you even aware when this was happening? Because you're very busy in the moment. I'm sure he didn't look at you and say, affirm me,
Yeah, no.
compliment me, tell me I'm that guy.
Yeah.
In retrospect, were there signs that you started seeing where maybe it was the moment where where you weren't treating him like the priest of your home? Can you recall any moments like that?
I think for me, I'm a worker bee.
Okay.
I am a person that just keeps working, To me, I think that validates me as a person. Like if I'm busy, then
You good.
I'm good. And I think there were times, maybe there were signs that I missed. There were maybe times when he would say, let's have a date night. And I said, oh, we have all these things going on. Our son is young.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
You sleep all day and you work all night. It's just that we were like 2 ships passing in a sea, right?
Wow.
And I think for me, looking back now, there probably were signs. I definitely didn't think that he was drifting away.
Okay.
Never saw it.
Yeah, I don't think I really saw that. I think if I had looked at it, I would say, he's spending a little bit more time at work. He could probably be home by this time, but he's not. I don't think it really clicked to me that we were getting
Gotcha.
further apart.
So, Dave, when did the explosion happen, and what was that moment like for you when Kristen found out, okay, it's a little bit more than just late nights at work?
Man, I think the main portion of it for me felt like I had hurt somebody that was important to me and kind to me. And so I was so in this space of sadness.
Okay.
Like I was so sad. I think ultimately when we look back at it, it was one of those moments where we now know that I should have been sad all along the entire
Right.
process, but I didn't until I actually saw the pain or hurt in her eyes.
So let's go back a little bit.
Mhm.
That's because that's a mature statement now that you're thinking.
Sure.
In the moment when you were in the act of infidelity or you were in the act of dealing with another woman outside of your marriage, in the moment you weren't in pain then,
Right.
but when it got exposed,
Right.
that's when you
Yes.
started feeling the pain that Kristen was dealing with.
I think one of the things that we'll say a lot throughout this conversation is having the proper tools. Because I look back now on some of those moments now versus how I feel now that I understand more, then I've been exposed to more, now that I've seen more, man, I really put myself, I made it to where it was okay in my mind, mentally.
Absolutely.
Like, made it acceptable, the idea of cheating or the
Gotcha.
idea of...
So the idea of living a double life.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
also because you saw this growing up,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that your dad did.
Yes.
There was a moment, Kristen, you were just oblivious to it. You didn't know.
Oblivious,
So
yeah.
you get to be this free, fun guy at work.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to come home when she gets on your nerves. You get the ability to be able to
Yep.
be free
You
somewhere
don't
else
have to talk
outside
about
of
bills
home.
with somebody else. You
You
don't have
know,
to talk
but
about everything life.
It just dawned on me, though. We talk about her being oblivious, and I think there's also, too, a lesson there is that
I should have.
I recall several times where I literally told her,
Wow.
hey,
I was going to bring that up. I'm happy
hey,
you brought that
don't
up.
be upset at me, but you right now, you screaming at me, but I'm going to somebody who's going to embrace me. And I would
As
tell
far
her.
as, but I'm thinking he's talking about the staff.
And in my mind, again, I'm justifying my poor behavior by saying, Well, I told her,
Yeah.
hey, I'm telling her, don't
Yeah.
send me to the pack of wolves with bologna on
You're
my neck.
telling her this in a threatening manner.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What was she
Yeah.
doing to make you feel like that? To make you make that statement?
If I'm being perfectly honest with you, perfectly honest, nothing. I just wanted to act in a poor manner, and wanted to justify those actions by lending those. Hey, well, she's doing this to you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, she don't make
You just need
like,
an excuse, whatever
Yeah,
it
just
was.
this- But I also want
Gotcha.
to point out too.
and your mind would tell yourself,
Yeah.
right? Like you'll literally convince yourself, this is how I feel, this is what I'm thinking.
Create your own narrative.
Yeah.
I think one thing that's important to mention too is he has a group of 5 or 6 best friends,
Yeah.
and he was the first one to get married. And so I think it was important too because
I didn't have any
he didn't
mentors
have
or
anybody.
role
Like he
models.
was the only
wow.
one.
I told you my
in the
dad,
group.
he wasn't much of a role model.
Right.
He just kept saying, well, if you don't like get your new wife. That's what
Right.
he tell me.
Right.
Yeah.
So I
Wow.
didn't really have
Yeah, he was the only married one.
people to go to or talk to about it.
Yeah.
So, Kristin, because y'all listen, this story gonna take a really interesting turn because we're very used to
Absolutely.
hearing about men with infidelity, but it's
Sure.
gonna take a turn in just a second.
Absolutely.
Kristin, though, in the moment when you found out that your husband had been unfaithful, what was your mindset and who were you in that moment? Like what was the pain like? How did you recover? Like who were you in the moment?
You know what? This process has been so evolving for me, or I've evolved throughout this process because now looking back at who that person was, I'm totally different.
Okay.
And I think at the time, would you agree?
Yeah, for sure.
I think at the time, bury your head in the sand,
Yeah.
right? So part of me was like, I'm leaving. This is something I told myself I would never. You know, that first date we talked
That's
about,
why you
Yeah.
got better never say never.
honey, that
And I just
first
said
date
never.
we talked about, one of the main things I said is I do not want anybody that would ever
Yeah.
cheat on me.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm leaving immediately.
Yeah.
But then life's, and you're like, oh wow, okay, we have children, and it's like, my first thing was I want to go. I have
Okay.
to get out of here. That was the first thing. Then the second thing was, okay, I grew up in a 2-parent. We talked about how you grew up. I grew up in a 2-parent household. Parents married for 25 years, and so it's very important for me to raise our kids in a household with 2
Absolutely.
parents. Right. And so at the time I was fearful of doing it in a
Alone.
separate, doing it alone. So first I wanted to run. Second, I was like, I'm staying for the better good of our kids. And the third thing was, I don't really want to know too much. If I know more details, then I will not want to stay.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
It's gonna
So
make
I
you more
buried my
angry.
head in the sand and was a worker bee and went to work.
So let me ask this: you never
Yeah.
did the grilling with him. You just
When
never.
I tell you that grill was probably 22 hours total.
That grill was medium rare.
It was medium.
Okay.
When I tell you now, I realize
Wow. So
I
you
should've
didn't want the details.
You know what? I think it was self-preservation. I felt like if I knew more details, I would really at that point have no choice but to go.
So in that moment,
That's very, very interesting.
yeah, it is.
Because as human beings, when anything take place, whether it's good, whether it's bad, the reason we want to know why this happened to me
Right.
or why did this take place. And so for you to have the ability to turn yourself off from, I don't want to know what's taking place, that had to be a divine intervention.
Man.
Whoa!
Because
it
because the more you know, the more opportunity of bitterness that you can get to go into.
Oh, and I think it's important to find the balance, right? Because if
Yeah.
I did it all over again, I think some questions are important to know the answers to.
I was just about to say, I think it was your mechanism to not deal with the pain.
Absolutely.
Because if you had
sure.
more questions, you were going to have to sit in what you
what
were
the
hearing.
answer was, yes.
And then when you heard the answer, you were going to have to then make really,
You have a
really hard
decision.
decisions.
You have a decision to make.
And so
Absolutely.
I think sometimes you'll stay in the gray area because what I don't know doesn't really have the ability to hurt me.
Absolutely.
The fact that it's already heavy and it's already hurtful and
Mm-hmm.
we still got these kids, we still got these bills, we still got these life, I'm going to bury myself. And so when she buried herself, once again, you're not really getting a reaction from her, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are 2 things that we got to mention. One, in my situation for sure, and I didn't just say it, I lived it. I was still forgive me, I was still playing the role of a good husband. The
Yes.
reason why I say playing a role is because very clearly, if you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing,
That is
Yeah.
not being a good
Not a good
husband.
but what I mean is I was always present.
Mhm.
I
Great
was
father.
always I've always been in my son's life tremendously.
Absolutely.
I paid for everything financially. I was
Yeah,
still
provided.
there. And so from my perspective, I looked at it as I'm still doing the things, and I think that made it easier for her to like, you know what? I don't know if I want to sell you a good thing. I'm not saying that's what you felt, but I could understand how it would be easy to, okay, everything is in line. If he just fixed this one issue.
Yeah, that's from your perspective.
Right.
That's from you.
Yeah.
But it's a whole nother world
Yeah.
going on if we over here with
I
her.
can only imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it often can feel like your voice is being suffocated, and I think I was doing my suffocating to myself, right? I think if I had come to him and talked to him more about it, I feel like he would at least be open to discussing it. But a lot of it, as
You don't want to sit in the
Pastor
pain.
Tiffany, yeah.
I know so many women that are oblivious to it, but it's what Dave just said.
yeah,
My bills are paid. My routine is still
For
there.
sure.
My lifestyle is still there.
Yeah.
If I blow this up, then
I
means
gotta create a whole nother world.
blow up my own comfort
Yeah,
zone.
you gotta
and
create a whole
most
nother world.
people are not ready
No,
to
people ain't
blow
wired
that
for
up.
that.
Let me ask a personal question, and you can decide to answer it or not. What was intimacy like for you all during that moment? That the fact that now you've opened yourself up to another woman, what are you all still able to be intimate in this moment? Are you still sleeping in the same bedrooms? Are you still able to have a sex life? Or what is there any inkling that anything is changing, that something is off?
I think for me, I don't think we always slept in the same bedroom.
You know, it's funny. We never talked about this, but go ahead.
Yeah, we always, from what I remember, we always slept in the same bedroom. I think for me, if I don't like you,
Yeah.
I don't want to engage in
Yeah,
anything.
you don't want to. Don't touch me.
I don't
Yeah.
like you. Sorry, I
Yeah.
love you, but I don't like you. And so for me, I think there were probably times that
So you shut down.
that I shut down.
But I'm even meaning during the infidelity, before you found out.
Okay.
Did it affect your intimacy at all? Was it anything that your body sensed, like something is just off with my husband?
I think yes. I think
Okay.
there were signs. Now that I look back, there were definitely signs. I think.
But you couldn't tell them in the moment.
I couldn't tell exactly what it was, but there was definitely a disconnection. I think that David normally is more of an affectionate person, and he didn't require as much affection from me during that time. Right?
Got
That's a good
you.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Would
good
you
one.
agree? Yeah.
I totally
Yeah.
agree, 1,000%. I think I'm justifying to myself, telling myself, well, if I can get this affection from somewhere else, I don't have to bother my wife with it.
Wow.
Right.
Because you felt like you were bothering
Yes,
her.
that is a
Yeah.
very important thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's pause right there, because I guess I'm assuming that one of your love languages is physical touch.
Absolutely, it is.
Is that yours?
It is. No, one of mine is acts of service.
So it moved into now when I try to touch my wife
Yeah.
or kiss my wife or be intimate with my wife, it feels like I'm bothering her.
Rejection.
That's exactly what it was. It was a constant feeling of rejection, and
You feel like she was displaying that? Or
Y'all
do you
need
feel
to
like,
share this. This is good.
Yeah,
This
do
is
you-
really
Yeah.
good.
Do you
Yeah.
feel like she was displaying rejection, or do you feel like you was talking yourself into rejection?
I think
Because
it-
them two different worlds.
Well, I think it was both. I
Yeah.
think there were definitely times where I was reaching out, trying to recapture what we had on that magical first date.
Yep.
And kind of getting, I'm busy. I'm this. I got this to do. I got that to do.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
And you like, all right, bet. I'm glad you do got that.
I'm,
yeah.
yo.
But it
Okay.
did start feeling like rejection.
Yeah.
Because
for
this
sure.
is the other part. If your need is physical touch,
Yeah.
but somebody you may be giving him words of affirmation. You may be giving him quality time,
Right.
but his need is physical touch.
Yes.
Right.
So if you're
Yeah.
not giving you what you need, no matter what she gives you, it's not enough because your need was physical touch. So
Yes.
you moved into the point of, I'll just get it from somebody else, and it's a win-win situation because at that time I also don't have to bother my wife.
Yeah.
The analogy we use is oftentimes it's an ATM. Imagine going up to an ATM, trying a U.S. ATM trying to get U.S. dollars, but it's only giving out Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
It's no
Wow.
matter how much you put in there, no matter how much you're trying to deposit,
It's still currency,
It's still,
but it's not the currency
but it's
you
not
need.
the currency you need.
That's good,
Yeah.
Dave.
And so
Yeah.
you could just sit at that machine all day. You're not gonna get U.S. dollars out of a Bitcoin ATM.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think,
So-
speaking of love language, I think for me, I always show my love in the way that I like to receive it.
Yeah,
Because
most
acts
people
of
do.
service is
Gotcha.
what
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah, so
I'm
you
like, I'm
thinking,
cooking, I'm cleaning,
yeah,
I'm
I'm giving you access service.
I'm like,
'cause
what's
that's
the
what I
problem?
like.
And he's like, but physical touch is one of mine.
Right.
Quality time is one of mine. I'm like,
Well,
oh,
I
okay.
would tell her. I used to say I'm a chef.
Uh-huh.
I can
Yeah.
cook my own food.
Yeah, he's like, I don't
hire-
need you to do
I
that.
hire
Right.
a maid with the cookies.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I need you to take that hand and put it right, here on my
Right.
knee.
Yeah,
That's what you do.
absolutely. Hug
That's
on
Lord
me,
have
kiss
mercy.
on me.
That's
Yeah,
what I need you to do.
absolutely. I don't care.
I need you.
This house could be filthy, but if my girl's sitting next
there
to
you
me,
go.
Do
Do you hear me though?
To me, I'm like, a
Tiff,
clean
do
house
you
is a
hear me?
happy house.
Do you hear
A
me?
clean
Yeah.
house is a happy house.
That is
that
so
is-
interesting.
And I was always taught a happy house is where the husband is happy.
Yeah.
And so my
it's
perspective
important,
was,
yeah.
Not
you know,
happy life, happy wife.
hey, it's not a happy, it's a happy spouse, happy house.
Ah,
At the end of
gotcha.
the day, you know, I was just more along the lines just trying to be involved in a space where she could interact with more of the things that I asked her for rather than
what I thought marriage would look
Was.
like.
I got you. So let's shift a little bit. So you
Sure.
find out about Dave. There's
Yeah.
this explosion. You tell him that, hey, you know, you thinking about leaving, but then after that, I'm going to bury myself because I don't feel like dealing with this. What year is this that you find out everything?
This is 2015.
But I feel like we gotta mention one more thing: fight,
Okay.
flight, and freeze.
Okay.
Yes.
These are like the three things you do in any traumatic situation, right? There are three things. In human instinct, we've all nailed it down. You either gonna fight, fight back. You're gonna freeze up and just sit still,
Or you
or
gonna
you're
go.
gonna run
Or
out.
you gonna flee.
Right? I have to mention that God put in place this connection to be in a way where. So Kristen is a freezer.
I am a freezer.
She-
I will
she-
freeze. Make a plan.
And that
and then we
includes
move.
sticking your head in the sand. Same concept. It's the concept of just, you know what,
Just
I'm gonna
freeze.
stop. I'm
Yeah.
gonna freeze. I'm gonna assess the situation. I'm gonna figure it
Pivot.
out.
Yes.
I'm a fighter. My
Yeah.
whole life. Like you put me in a situation, you drop me off in the jungle, I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight. It just so happened in that situation, I needed her to stop for a second because when I realized how bad I hurt her, I went into fight mode. I went on books. I went for self-help. I went for
Counseling.
I went from therapy. I went
YouTube channels
man,
about
I,
affair.
I went pulling out all the stops because I felt like I had done something that I knew wasn't right, but I couldn't quite figure out why I felt that way.
Dave, can I ask you one question?
What's
How long did it take you to go? How long did it take you to realize that I've truly hurt her? Because a lot of times in situations and circumstances like this, people are hurt not because they hurt the person.
Yeah.
They hurt because they got caught.
Yeah.
And I talk a lot about the difference between lamenting and repenting.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And lamenting is I'm just crying and I'm sorry. But lamenting looks like repenting,
Yeah. It does.
especially to a person that want the marriage and want the situation back.
Right.
I could do something to her, and then when I do it to her, she finds out. And then when she find out, I just start crying. She confront me with it, and I just start crying. That looks like repentance.
Right.
But true repentance is, no, I stop, I realize I've hurt her, and then I really, really feel a breaking within myself.
Yeah.
And I go, man, I'm hurt. Not only have I hurt her, but I hurt God.
Yeah.
And now the transformation is beginning.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you, how long did it take for you to realize that in order to go from lamenting to repenting, that I got to change?
Yeah. We call it doomsday. So doomsday is the day that we discover. That's in the affair.
You discover
community.
within yourself.
Well, no, it's when you discover the affair. When what's in the dark comes to the light.
Comes to
Yeah.
light.
We call it the doomsday.
Yeah.
That's the day.
But that ain't necessarily the repentance day.
Well, no. But it's the day of discovery. But
Okay.
for me, it was the day after that. She ended up reading some of the communications that I had
Okay.
with the person, and man, watching her read that back, read my own words,
Wow.
right, and having to shoulder that and swallow that.
That did something inside of
Man,
you.
it told me up. It really helped shift my mindset. And I'm
Wow.
like,
So you think in that very moment you had that come to Jesus moment, like,
without a doubt.
I don't
It's
ever want to hurt
possible.
her again. No, I love that.
It's possible.
I think, and so
Without a
you
doubt.
immediately went into fight mode. I got to
Immediately.
fight. I got to
I
fix
gotta
this.
I gotta fix this.
The beauty about this is, as I'm listening to it, you wasn't all the way gone.
Yeah.
Yes.
When I mean that when I say when a person is all the way gone.
Oh, absolutely.
And some, like, when they find out, it's kind of like they might cry, do this, but in their heart, they like, all right, like, this just what comes along with it.
Sure.
But for him to crack the next day, that means that he wasn't, it was grace that was already in the moment.
And so I'm going to ask
Yeah.
this
Amen.
for the men that are here, because I've often heard that when a man cheats, it's more physical. It doesn't have a lot to do with emotions. When a woman cheats, sometimes it's more of an emotional thing for us. Do you feel like maybe it was easier for you to be able to cut it off because it was just more physical? I mean, like, meaning that I hurt, because you're right. There are some men
I
that
don't
are
agree with
far,
that, though.
Okay, well, tell me your
That's what I'm
thoughts.
saying. So
Uh-huh.
so we just, everybody, and this is why I say this is very, we gotta pay attention to who we listening to
Okay.
because everybody different.
Yeah.
Like everybody is not the
But
same.
but that's
so,
a common thing that you
yeah,
often
but I'm
hear.
saying
What I just said.
that's because 9 times out of 10 you listen to people who lament. Like just being honest with you, meaning they saying they sorry, but they ain't really
I
sorry.
said,
They don't
you've
really-
never
and so I'm
heard
saying,
that-
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, from the standpoint of a man can, you saying a man see a person then saying I'm attracted to, I'm ready to go have sex with her. No, when a man sees a person and they getting ready to step out, you better believe that it has been something playing in their mind for a long time.
Yeah.
This ain't just happened overnight. That's why I say that's why I said he wasn't already checked out. That's the reason why I asked him that. Because when this is happening for when a man is really strategically set this thing up in his mind. He's trying to figure out how not to get caught in everything else.
100%.
He's already played the entire tape in his mind.
Yeah, I think-
And so
I
the
think I've-
physicality thing, one thing, but I'm saying it's mental and
Well, it's
mental and
too, but
emotional too.
I'm meaning more so from when a man cheats, you may not be as emotionally invested in the woman.
Sure.
When
Oh,
a
that's a whole
woman
nother
cheats,
question
a
then.
man has
Yeah.
literally got her mind. And so now it's just not the fact about me doing it physically. Emotionally, I have some attachment.
Right.
So with that being said, you
No, I'm just
disagree.
listening. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So with that being said, when everything blew up and you get this moment like, I can't believe I've done this to my wife, you immediately go into fix it mode. How did you receive that? Were you at the place of do the work to help us fix it, or were you like, I see you, but brother, I'm still bothered.
You know, yeah, I'm still bothered.
Yeah, I'm still angry.
Sometimes, yeah, when you're angry, you're like, suffer a little
For
bit.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you sit in that, live in that, feel that. I think, yeah, I wasn't as open
I
to.
had a hole too, you know, to speak on what both of you guys were saying and mentioning about the difference between men and women and the way they view it. I think I realized I had a hole. For me, it wasn't about a physical or really an emotional connection either. But I heard Pastor when he said that was I already checked out or was I headed? No. But
I know you wouldn't.
But I
He's saying you were not
recognized
yet.
that I felt like something was missing. Now we're gonna talk about later what we feel that hole with, and it ain't a person.
And it's a difference between a person checking out. A
Yeah.
man, let me say, let me talk to
Yeah.
men.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a difference between a man checking all the way out and saying, I know something was missing.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So in that I know something missing, this is a sign of it's a sign of immaturity and lack of self-control.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Right?
Absolutely.
And not knowing how to put it all, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so what usually happen though with a man who feel like it's something missing, right? He gonna look for something else that's missing.
Right.
He gonna look for something else that's missing.
Right.
Something else happening, something else missing.
Right.
Now he's checking out. You see what I'm saying? The steps then went from boom, 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 boom,
Man.
boom. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
not just, man, something missing, but then you gonna make the move. That's just immaturity. Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so I guess you weren't looking to replace Kristen. You were looking just to fill
Just
the
to
voids
fill the void.
that she was not.
I was looking to fill the void in me.
In
though.
you,
I got
but
you.
what I recognized was when I saw that pain that day, it dawned on me
Yeah,
that all I did was took a chunk out of her
yeah.
and try to put
fill it in
try to
yourself.
fill it in myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I knew right away, oh man, I didn't want to do it at her expense.
You hadn't checked out.
I
Yeah.
wanted, I
You didn't
wanted
wanna do it at
feel
her expense,
but I didn't
yeah.
want to do it at her expense.
Right.
I don't want that at all.
So when did things kind of get back normal? You find out that's 2015. When did things how long did it take for you all to
Man.
get to a routine where you kind of you've forgiven him, you haven't forgotten, but when did things get back? When did you all get a normal routine again?
I think I would say it was fairly quickly.
Man,
Fairly
we
quickly.
we laugh about it now, but it was probably we had counseling.
Maybe a year or
Maybe
so.
less than that.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
eight,
let you.
maybe-
I let y'all too easy.
Yeah.
It was about a year.
So let's talk about this. Let's move a little bit.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
You let him off easy, your words, and
which
you
you-
said you guys moved on.
Right.
But obviously, when this happened, there was a hole that was in you as well
Absolutely.
that maybe you didn't. I don't know if you did or if you even knew the words to articulate it to Dave.
Mhm.
There was a hole in you. Did you ever tell him what you've done to me? Although we're moving along quickly, there's still a hole in me. I'm still hurting behind this. Did that conversation
No.
ever happen?
And that's why it's so funny because you can pull the wool over your own eyes,
Mm.
right? And so even now saying I let you off easy, the result of that was actually no. I did not let him off easy. In my
Not at
head, I'm
all.
like, I got this going on. My parents got through things. Of course,
Right.
they didn't have anything like this happen,
Right,
but
but I got
they
you.
had a long, successful marriage. Everything was great. I think we can get through this. Not realizing that I am broken. I am a broken person, but I'm still a great mom. I'm still cooking every day. I'm still doing all the things that are
Just
necessary. Just broken. And I don't think I really realized how much that affected me until 2018.
So when you say that, Chris, this is the delicate part with you. Got to know your personality. So you're at this place where you are a great mom, a great wife. You know how to put together a great marriage, but you forget your identity as just a woman first. So before you are a wife, before you are a mother, before you are a daughter, a sister, a friend, now we're just dealing with the essence of Kristin.
Yes.
2018. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, 2018, I think I got to a point where I said, I think now I want to do something for me. This is what I told myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've given everything to David and our sons, and if things now it's time
all
for me.
about me.
It's all about me. I'm working. I was a district manager at a major cosmetics company, and I was rocking and rolling, wearing all the hats. And I was like, so now I think I need to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of looking to David to make me happy, I said, well, I think I should also dibble and dabble.
Yeah. Do you ever think that it ever crossed your mind? I'm gonna get my payback.
You know what? I think subconsciously, resentment is a ugly thing.
Yeah.
I always tell
You gotta
people
get that
that.
leak back.
Talk
You
about
know,
it.
I don't think I intentionally was like, I am going to hurt him. But I said, now I'm picking me.
Yeah.
And surely he wouldn't be upset because he picked him.
So you did say I'm gonna get him back.
I think,
Ba-
I think
basically.
as we're talking
Yeah,
about
now
it, but
I
in the
understand that.
moment, you're
But,
not.
I just
in
shamed in my
different
own
words.
feelings.
Yeah,
Didn't
it's
even
all
want to
good.
admit, like, ma'am,
Yeah,
you
for
are
sure.
trying to get your lick back.
Yeah.
But I tell people resentment is an ugly thing because it's like drinking poison and expecting somebody else to die, right?
My God.
So I had resentment that I had harbored, and I was like, you know what? So now I'm going to do something for me, not realizing I was risking my whole family. Yet again, another break in our marriage, another opportunity for us to lose everything because I was doing something selfishly that I thought was for me and hurting myself at the same time.